Thanks for staying with us. Now, we've had this conversation with Outa before and promised that we will bring you an update on what the situation around e-tolls is. And you'd remember during the State of the Province address in Gauteng, Premier Panyaza Lesufi announced that e-tolls would be a thing of the past. And he said, come the end of March, the gantries will be switched off. So what exactly is happening there? Let's get you an update. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi joins us live now. Premier, thank you so much for your time. A lot of people wanting to know, will e-tolls be a thing of the past?
Indeed, the history now. We've passed that stage. We just have to concentrate on the expansion of new roads and ensuring that we maintain these particular roads because of the impasse, the development and maintenance of these roads took a huge punishment, especially the R21. Now that we've reached this agreement, we are quite convinced come the 12th of April, no one will be charged for e-tolls, and that will convert the countries to fight crime, like looking for stolen cars or people that are driving cars without number plates or people that are speeding. We will utilize these countries for that purpose. But in terms of payment for utilizing these roads, it will be history, because now these roads have been gazetted as non-toll roads and anyone can use them at any time.
And of course, the issue of the Gazette was also another big one, and we were touching on it earlier on this week. But with that, there was, of course, concern around the issue of the debt in two parts. Let's start with what happens now with the issue of the SANRAL debt, because others were saying that SANRAL incurred a bit of debt when it comes to this, and then would need to also service that particular, debt, and also looking at the fact that if the countries are switched off, they may not then be able to make a return on their investment. Was there an agreement reached in that particular regard as to what happens there?
To be quite frank, that was the reason why there were these delays. We managed to bite the bullet and said that we'll take 30% of that debt as Gauteng government on behalf of our citizens. And also to ensure that we pass the stage. We've been dilly-dallying on this matter for quite some time, and it has reached a stage where we need to bite the bullet. And we've done that. Of the 47 billion, we've accepted as Gauteng that we will raise 12 billion from the market and pay those that we owe this amount of money. And immediately after that, we'll ensure that we maintain these roads and we'll budget 4 billion. We've already started the budgeting process. And immediately after that, we'll ensure that we identify more roads that can be expanded. The congestion in the morning and afternoon in our roads was purely because of this outstanding arrangement. So now that this part is clear, we really believe that we will expand our road, we will maintain our roads, because roads are more important for economic development. And we want to thank the Minister of Finance, Ekurhuleni, and the Minister of Transport, Outa, for the gallant work and the openness in the negotiations. The negotiations were tough and difficult, but the mere fact that we've reached a decision 3 days before the actual deadline is an exciting moment for people of Gauteng.
So the second part now, what happens to those who are owing the system and those who currently have tags?
Well, we really believe once bitten, twice shy. The main reason these e-tolls were rejected was because people felt that they were not consulted. Even we argued that there was consultation, they felt that the consultation was not meaningful. So we don't want to commit the same mistake. So those that owe and those that have paid, we want to consult them again as government to say what is the best mechanism to resolve this last part of e-tolls. And after we've consulted the affected parties, the individuals, the stakeholders, and organizations that are participating in the sector, we'll then come back and make an announcement. So we don't want to jump the gun and make a public pronouncement on this matter. We still need to consult those that are affected, and on the basis of that, we'll take a decision.
All right, and we'll definitely await then an update in that particular regard. So if I may, with your indulgence, please ask you to wear a different hat now and be the ANC chair of Gauteng, and give us your reaction to what happened in Ekurhuleni earlier on.
We've just noted it.
You're just noting it?
Yes.
But the ANC, for example, the party in which you are the chair in the province, has been criticized, and I'm borrowing from what the EFF's Nkululeko Dunga said earlier, speaking to Baleka Mthethwa. He says, and I'm quoting, "This continues to symbolize the slippery slope for the ANC that the centre is not holding," and he was referring to some of your own councillors who voted for a motion that they were told not to.
Not necessarily. You don't consult us when you run that government, and you run the government together. And when you find a motion, you expect the ANC to support you. It does not work that way. And that's why we abstained. It sent a strong message that the ANC is not disparate. We're not disparate for power. We are prepared to stand in opposition benches, and you must respect us. We are not an organization that can be abused and like football, be kicked anywhere when people want to kick them. If these organizations that believe they're in partnership with the ANC to run that municipality, when they formulate budgets, they must consult the ANC. They're not consulted. We don't even have a joint program on how best to run that municipality. Everybody is doing as they wish. And when they face problems, they run and say it's the African National Congress. The center is holding. We are sending a very strong message that if you want to run that municipality with us, respect us. If you want to run that municipality using our numbers, consult us. If you want to run that municipality appropriately, sit down with us, let's develop a program that will ensure that the service delivered. But if you want to do things on your own, thinking you've got power, you've got numbers, you'll suffer the consequences of what happened today. And that's the reason why the ANC took a middle ground. We abstained. And that's the reason why our councillors took the decision that they've taken to abstain and to ensure that we don't support this motion. Hopefully, it will open the eyes and the minds of those that think they're in partnership with us, but they can do as they wish. So that is why we say we note the activities. Fortunately, after this motion, we are now being mandated by request of some of the political parties that want to consult with the ANC. They come publicly and say the centre does not hold, but secretly they're sending us messages requesting meetings so that we can resolve this impasse. Which centre now that is not holding if you're consulting us?
So
we are very firm.
Pardon me for coming in there. Pardon me. I was listening to Jongi Zizwe Labati just after, what Nkululeko Dunga had said. And he said that for them, they are condemning some of their own councillors who they say that voted, basically differently to what they were told to do in caucus. So it does sound like there are some of the members, the councillors of the ANC who voted for this particular motion, who did not abstain as they were told that they needed to, because he says he went into the caucus and he condemned this again in the strongest terms, and he says there's now an internal process that is going to unfold to try and deal with what exactly happened here. So it doesn't sound like everyone abstained.
No, Bogi. The majority of ANC councillors abstained. They carried the mandate. If there are few that have not carried that mandate, indeed it is the chief whip's function to investigate and give us a report. Where we stand, we don't have that report. What we know is that our councillors abstained, which is the position that we gave them. That don't support a motion of people that are squabbling amongst themselves. Don't support a motion of people that didn't consult us, whether to lobby us to support the motion and not to support the motion. Don't participate in activities of battles of other people. The African National Congress is an organization that must be respected. The African National Congress is not an organization that is disparate to be in power at all costs, and that we must form or connive with other political parties to govern. If you don't respect our presence, it's fine, we'll abstain. If you respect our presence, you'll come to us, you'll consult us, you'll talk to us, and we are human enough to consult with you and speak with you. We can't run a government together, but you don't consult us when you adjust budget. You can't run government together and you don't consult us when you insult the Auditor General. You can't run a government together and when there are things that we need to do together to ensure that service delivery in areas like Watema, where they don't have electricity, are not attended and not budgeted to. We will not watch people abusing us purely because they think that we are desperate for power. This has sent a strong message to all parties. We need each other. There's no party that has absolute majority, and there's no party that can bully and think that they can run that municipality alone. And at this stage, there is an urgent need for us to go back to a drawing board, to reconstitute that government, and at the same time respect partners and ensure that there is a joint program. And that's the attitude of the African National Congress.
So will you still work together?
Well, it depends if people want to work with us. If they want to work with us, whoever want to work with us, as long as they will respect us, as long as they will adhere to our principles, we have no problem. But if you are not going to respect us, you are not going to be part of those discussions.
All right, let's see then what becomes the way forward. But thank you so much for giving us an update on those two issues. And we will await that update then on, the consultation with the motorists around the debt and some of the developments there around e-tolls. Do appreciate your time. That was Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi.